YouTube Nation, Manvan TV, aka me TV, aka as voted by you the fans, the Gamers Champ. And since I'm the Gamers Champ, I got the belt on my waist, but it's time to get in the ring and knock someone else the fuck out today. But before I get started, let me say it's the weekend. We should enjoy that. We got a packed show. I want to thank all the subscribers. All you guys sent me all types of information, okay? All right, I want to say this week, last week, before you get, guys, thank you, all right? Because when I don't get a chance, like I said, but when I don't get a chance to see something, you guys do and you send it to me, I appreciate that, all right? My hats is always going to you guys. All right, now, with that being said, we got a full show. And let's get started today with THQ. Yeah, now, this is going to piss off some people, so let's get into this real quick, all right? Now, here we go. THQ VP claims he's a genius. Yeah, let's hear what you guys say. VP Danny Bilson says, in the game industry, and I quote, in the game industry, it makes me a genius. Now look, before we even get started even further, we're going to stop right there. We just want some real talk real quick. If you have to come out and say you're a genius in an interview, you're not a fucking genius. Geniuses don't say that, all right? They have other people to say it for them. They have other people to back him, all right? He doesn't have to say it. They don't have to scream it in the interview. See, that's the difference. It's almost like the equivalent of being cool. If people say, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool, guess what? If you have to keep saying it, you're not. It's the same thing with this. And I'm not trying to hear there's subdivisions of genius these days. You know, he's a genius in music, and he's a genius in sports, and he's a genius in video games. It's bullshit. There's only one, all right? If you have that high of a mentality, a mental capacity, all right, and you are truly a genius, why the fuck are you in the game industry? All right? Why aren't you out trying to stop a disease or something? Help the world. That makes no sense. Don't sit here and blow smoke up my ass talking about yourself. That's bullshit, all right? I'm not trying to hear that, all right? The fact is, you're not a genius. I don't see people running I didn't even know who the fuck you were, all right, until I got the article. So let's get this straight. Let's get this straight. You're a genius, but no one's really ever heard of you. You stay behind the scenes, but no one's heard of you. You know, let's put this. When you make games, when you produce games, when you're behind games and concepts, I don't hear people saying, oh, well, what's his name, Danny Bilson? Yeah, he's behind it. I'm going to buy it automatically. Because he, you know, his past and this, that. No one's doing that shit. You don't have people saying, I'm automatically going to buy everything. You would have a lot of high-selling games if you had quality. So don't give me that bullshit about you being a genius. Geniuses don't do that. And geniuses also don't alienate people. They like company. They love company. Genius loves company. That's simple. See, that's what you fail to realize. And you know, I hate to have to be the warhorse all the time that has to knock motherfuckers off their platform. Seriously, it's pathetic. But let's get into this, because it goes further. Now, let me say, this is going to piss some people off, because he goes on to disrespect the gamers and THQ's methods. All right, now it says, their methods are a little unorthodox. He admitted that when asked about games focus testing, he usually lies and tells them it was a hit. So he lies. I didn't know geniuses had to lie to get their way. They could just, you know, go out and do what they have to do. You lie. You lie to make sales. Let's keep going. It says, the truth, and I quote, we don't test, he said. What are 16 teenagers in Encino going to tell us that we don't know? It says, if I ever get to the point where I need to ask what a 15-year-old wants these days, it's time to go and rest home, because you're done. Look, apparently, this genius doesn't understand about focus testing. He doesn't understand marketing. He doesn't understand statistical research. He doesn't understand advertising. He doesn't understand that you are plugged with this every day. Gamers, when you watch TV, when you have a commercial on, they try to tell you what's cool, this, that, and the third. That's because they've had focus testing. They're going to tell you, they're going to think, well, this is something you may like. This is what's cool. This is what's hip. And it's in every, like I said, any beer. Like, seriously, have you seen the beer ads where they try to tell men, the Miller Lite ads? I fucking like beer. They're going to tell men they're not men because they're not drinking Miller Lite. Like, it's all focus testing. It's the same thing with kids and fashion and music and everything. All right, for this guy to say that he doesn't do that, he doesn't understand the business. That doesn't make him a genius. Geniuses don't do that. Geniuses don't come out and disrespect. I'm telling you now, they don't come out and disrespect the fan base that they're trying to get money from. That's just stupid. And you and I know that. That's just fucking stupid. All right? Anyways, let's move on. I'm done with this dude, because I'm not going to go any further. Link is in the info bar, all right? He goes on to talk about reminding people how Star Wars and Titanic, you know, what focus groups weren't a hit and this, that, and third. Fucking Star Wars is a completely different level. People didn't understand it, and Titanic was fucking garbage, all right? It was fucking garbage. I remember, and I don't want to get off topic here, but I remember when I was watching Titanic in the theater, I was taking this girl, and I was laughing in the fucking theater because all this shit, and people was looking at me like, you're a monster, is that the third? This really happened. I'm like, Lady, it's a movie. Yeah, it happened, but fuck, it didn't happen like this. Who the fuck is going to sit there and still play music while the fucking thing is going there? You be fucking kidding me. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's stupid. Anyways, let's move on. For those who know. Sony has done this ruling thing now. Like, I want to get into this because I appreciate a lot of you guys' comments last week. All right, last week, you were for, I won't say you were for me. You agreed with me, and some of you disagreed with me, which is fine. I have no problem with that. All right, but understand the case that is going on. We understand now the Sony ruling with Geo. Now, before I get started, let me say, Geo, you shouldn't be mad. You should be proud of yourself. You went toe to toe with a multi-million-dollar company. All right, and you came out in a stalemate. We're talking about a company who threatened to make you pay millions of dollars, jail time. I mean, shit. People are saying, oh, well, now, the group Anonymous, which I'll get to later, all right, says that, they're starting to attack their families. Isn't that personal? Have you guys not understood that Sony has started sending people to other people's houses, kicking down their fucking door and taking their shit just in front of them, just taking their shit? Like, it don't get personal. It don't get more personal than that. It really don't. All right, but this is interesting because Geo comes out in an interview and he talks about exactly what happened and in the court case. And I gave you the court documents last week so you can read up on it. And here he goes again. He goes into some good detail. It says, when first other OS was removed, I had no doubt it was due to the hypervisor exploit. It says, I mean, that's plausible. And it's what Sony said. But then I start to reconsider. It says, other OS removal is a completely stupid step considering no one had, understand this, no one had even done anything with the hack yet. It says, and the exploit was totally patchable. It took them 2 months to remove it. It says, and it's still on everyone's PS3 who didn't update. It says, in early February, post-HV hack, Jeff Levin promised that other OS would remain on the fat PS3s. Now, Sony is being squirrely and trying to stop him from being deposed. It says, this raises some serious concerns about what they're trying to hide. He goes on. It says, SCEA also likes to play games with their corporate structure. It says they are whining in court saying they didn't remove other OS and that they are just the messenger and that they can't get the documents and communications saying why, because SCEI, I told you about this before, SCEI has them. Then at the same time they assert, well, we can get the documents, but you have to agree that to never say the name SCEI as a defendant. Yes, like I said, this was all in the court documents I sent you guys last week. All right? It says, if I were the plaintiffs, the first thing I would have done is added SCEI and got a motion to compel on those documents. Just saying. So, like I said, Sony is switching the names and everything. You have to understand. Now, here's the last part. Because I'm not going to get into this. This is about the lying part, all right? It says, and some of Sony's words just unsettled me. It says, you don't have ownership right in the software that Sony computer allows you to use. That's the whole point of the license agreement. It's not an ownership interest. It's a privilege that Sony conveys on them. Should I feel privileged to give you $300 if you take the privilege back? I'm just saying, that's what it says. And it says, what can I do with my uncontested ownership physical PS3 if I stop using your software and install my own? You'll sue me. See, so you have to understand, guys, this is bigger than what you guys are seeing. All you guys are so fucking worried about, oh, well, if it messes up my gaming experience, this and that. No, it's bigger than this. It's bigger than this. And I'm going to get into it because Anonymous has come out and said they're not impressed. They're not impressed. It says, in the eyes of the law, the case is over. We disagree. We believe Sony's actions in this case are unjust. We do not agree with Sony forcing social media sites like YouTube to hand over the IP addresses of people who view GeoHot's videos. That's just wrong altogether. It says, we view this as a severe violation of privacy rights. It says, Anonymous explained further. It says, we disagree with Sony forcefully gathering personal information from other companies like PayPal. It says, we find it unacceptable that Sony is even permitted to request this information in the first place. These acts are completely disrespectful and unforgivable. Now, this is the big part. This is what you need to focus on. It says, according to Anonymous, Sony's actions have far-reaching implications for every individual who has purchased a piece of equipment, regardless of manufacturer. Understand that this is not about games. Because they stalemated in this case, or some people say they won, this is going to trickle down now to other companies now. You have to understand it. This is not about hacking and pirating. There's a big difference. This is about stopping information in general. You have to understand it's stopping evolution, actually. And people say, well, you shouldn't be able to mod this, that, and the third. Plenty of games let you mod. Look at games like, was it fucking Counter-Strike? Games like Unreal Tournament. Sony lets you mod on Unreal Tournament. All right, you have to understand that mods actually help. Now, like I said, I am against pirating. I'll say it again. I'm against pirating. I am against hacking for cheating. Okay? I'm against that. But understand that that's just a small piece of this pie right now, guys. We're talking about opening the door for every manufacturer. Doesn't matter if it's video games or not. Understand that this is going to get bigger. And we all know that companies follow each other. We've seen this now with the online pass. We're seeing it with all types of DLC. We're seeing it with everything. Understand what you're getting yourselves into. Just saying. With that being said, guys, let me say that we're going to turn the page real quick because we're going to go, like I said, just a little segment. We're going to get on with the new stuff that I just found not too long ago. And for those who've been asking me, yes, it's getting ready to come up. For those who've been looking forward to it, Portal 2 gameplay. Check this out.
Hey, this is Charles with IGN. I'm playing Portal 2 in co-op with IGN's video producer Ty Ruth.
What's up, guys?
And this is the very beginning of the co-op game in Portal. This is completely separate from the single-player story mode, and it's definitely meant as kind of a something to be played after you're done with the story, because there really isn't as much of an intro here. But
except for picking animals.
Well, yes, except for picking animals, which is what we're seeing right here. I think I'm going to go with a wolf. No, moose.
You like the moose?
Moose.
Go with the moose.
Yeah, big time. So that was hitting the F key in this case. Just places basically indicators on the environment so that I can let Ty know what I want to do. What are you picking here, Ty?
I'm going to pick gold.
Nice. Wow, that was close. You almost missed.
I know. That shows you how good I am at this game.
But yeah, that's so that when you're playing, I mean, obviously Ty and I can talk to each other, which helps.
Oh, hey, what's up, Charlie?
Where are you? Oh, you're
I'm right here. So this is us.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So yeah, you can see on my screen, you can basically give like move commands, like this.
And I can
tell Ty to move somewhere, or I can tell Ty to look somewhere, which is the eyeball, or I can do a countdown, which, yeah, here we go. 2, 1,
boom,
go. And that is for synchronizing timing of button switches and things like that. So I need to tell GLaDOS here where to put portals, which is the other command. You can see there's just a portal icon there. Oh, and then, yeah, it's contextual too, so I can tell, like, that's a go through the portal command, but I'm just gonna go get the gun.
Do it. Got it.
Is first to acquire a
Gun acquired. Ty, you're killing me here.
I'm going.
Orange now has
Look at that, dude.
I
was waiting for you to explain it.
Yeah.
Two self-contained portals. Please test your
So yeah, here we go. If you're not familiar with Portal, you know, each gun has an in and out portal. And in the co-op mode, obviously there's 2 people playing, so you get 4 portals total to solve puzzles.
So Charlie has to hit that button for me.
Yes, this is very complicated. There we go.
I'm going to go and hit that button for you. I think we're playing it right.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are obviously simple challenges, but this is just the start of this mode, just sort of getting you used to playing with 2 players, because before this mode, yeah, there was no way to do multiple people in a match, at least officially.
It's okay though.
Oh, and here's
activate.
Yeah, this is a pretty standard portal puzzle where you just take a brick, oops, and drop it on a pressure plate.
Weighted cubes
Right. Great success.
No
Thanks.
Yes.
I taught myself how to play. I actually didn't go to school for this.
If you want to upset a human, just say their weight.
And I'm going to hit this button and see what happens.
Catch a brick.
Oh, nice.
Caught it.
So yeah, that block just fell from above, and then Ty has to bring it over. Oh no, wait. I think you have to give it to me, right?
Yeah.
Through this little opening
window
here.
thing right here.
Oh my God! There we go.
Got it. All right.
And now I am going to go over to the next window, and then I think you can move around and get over here, right?
Absolutely. And you're gonna hand it back to me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it on this little thingamajiggy.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, that puzzle involved a little more cooperation than we'd seen previously, and I think,
as you can see, me and Charlie are not killing each other yet. So
yet.
Things are going well.
I am going to set up some portals for you.
Thank you.
So that you can move through and hit the button.
Here we go. That makes a little land bridge for me and for you.
Oh, we got confetti. We're so good. So much of a celebration. Gladys is a really big fan of confetti for some reason.
And she also talks a lot of smack.
Stop it.
And we just high-five each other.
Yeah, Gladys actually does not like it when you high-five. And you unlock more of these gestures too. So right now I have like a wave, which you can see Gladys is staring at me through the security camera.
I see you, and no, I don't care.
Now look, I understand that you guys are really happy about this game, and I understand, you know, the anticipation, but I have some more details for you. I have some more. So let's get into this real quick. PS3 Steam details are finally announced. Let's get into it, guys. Now look, it says, Portal 2 will have a cross-platform matchmaking, all right? It says friends, chat, and even Steam achievements that are earned at the same time as PSN trophies. It says you will also be able to communicate with your Steam and PSN friends via the console, as well as save your games to the Steam cloud to pick up and play at any time. Okay, now I understand guys saying, hey, that's great, you know, what else do we get? We got more. This is also, don't forget that if you buy the PS3 version of Portal 2, you will be entitled to redeem a code for the game on PC and Mac. That means you're getting 3 versions of the game for the price of one. PS3, and Mac version for the price of one. They're going to give you the code. All right, so if it's $60 for 3 versions of the game, seriously guys, you can't go wrong with that. Now I understand a lot of people don't like Valve, especially after what's the guy, Gabe's comments. I understand that a lot of people make fun of him because of his weight, and understand that Valve is really doing their thing right now. Seriously, I mean, come on. Come on. They're giving you 3 games for the price of one, cross-platform. Oh, this is what we need right now. Like I said, I'm not that much of a fan of Portal, but I may just have to support this just for that reason alone. Seriously, this is something that needs to be done. It needs to become a standard. Cross-platform play, cross-platform whatever, it needs to be done. Everything needs to be integrated at this point. Seriously, they're holding us back. They really are. There's no reason why Xbox Live players shouldn't be able to play PSN players and PC players and this, that, and the third. All right? It's all companies. It's all licensing. They can do it. They just don't want to. We've seen it in the past. It's been done. All right? It's been done. We've seen it between PS2 and PC and PS3 now and PC. And we've seen it. We've seen it. All right? It's only the next step. It's the next step. It needs to become a standard. It really does. It's time for next-gen gaming. It's time to move on. It's time to step it up. Everyone wants to keep staying back in the past. No, it's time to move on. Anyways, Warhawk 2. Let's get into this real quick. A lot of you guys, now mind you guys, I'm reading this off of an Arabic site. It's translated, but it's still a little weird, all right? But the link is in the info bar already translated for you. I will get to the details right now. So it says, game will feature a story mode. So you'll get a story mode like back in the PS1 days, okay? It says the game will support co-op for all 4 factions. It says initially the game will support 32 players on the network. The game will feature 25 maps to play on the network developed. It says the game will contain the spacecraft and military vehicles such as tanks, motorcycles, aircraft, and other vehicles. It says obey particular barriers to building the shelter, but they are subject to destruction of enemies. All right. It says clear improvement of the combat system and camera. Okay. It says fee is better than the previous section by virtue of the previous section was restructuring. I don't know. This, like I said, this is all off of a site. It says there is no specific date for the issuance of the game, but is expected to be in the game from Sony as exclusive title, and it says end of 2012. That's what it says. Like I said, it's all translated, so you gotta take it for what it is. All right, guys, let's move on. So that's your Warhawk 2 news. All right, now Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. Let's get into this real quick. You guys know the DLC is coming out, $14.99, and then 20 days later they're gonna bring it out on disc. Guys, I'm reading these forums, and the link is in the info bar. There's these fans. I understand you love the game. All right? I understand. We may just have to disagree on this one. All right? But you got to stop buying the DLC knowing that the shit is coming out on disc. You're getting milk. Look, this show, I've been telling you for a while now, this show is for what? It's for the gamers to understand what's going on within the industry, what's coming out, and what to look out for as you as customers so you don't get duped for your money. All right? I understand I can't tell people how to spend their money. All right? But what the fuck? You have to understand that your actions, when you advocate something like this, when you jump at something like this, all it does is give them more leeway to do it. For the rest of us who don't want it. Now, I understand about people saying, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's not a fucking excuse. All right? I'm not going to buy it. But why would you pay for DLC when it's coming out on disc, on hard disk, 20 days later? I mean, are you really that impatient? Are you really that impatient? Seriously, just, you know what? Let's just move on, because we got a lot of Capcom news. For those, also, I want to thank Capcom for hyping up Devil May Cry. They had, their information was supposed to come for Captivate, and then they never showed anything. No apology, no nothing. I told you that game is not ready. It's just not ready. All right. Now, with that being said, we have some other Capcom news. You guys just sent this to me actually like an hour ago. All right. So let's roll the clip real quick. Resident Evil, more Raccoon City gameplay. Talk to you then. We'll get back on this.
What are these things? Jesus.
This is Vector. I found the target. Shoot any Raccoon City police officers on sight. The infected are closing in.
Government spec ops. Kill them. Make sure we cover our tracks.
Time for them to know the true terror of our bioorganic weapons.
We're sending in a BOW to contain the situation. It won't discriminate.
The turret's out of control. Eat this, you freak!
Don't let that cop get away. Kill him!
Resident Evil. We've got him. It ends here. Command, we've eliminated the target.
Now, guys, let me say that last time I checked, if you grab a zombie like around the neck, he's gonna bite you. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it trying to make an action-packed game. It does look interesting, but we do have some details that will either help you buy it or will seriously push you the fuck away. All right, so let's get into this real quick. It says, the game can be played alone, but your teammates will be AI controlled if not controlled by another human. All right? It says, I know you hear the siren. Look, it says, game takes place before and during the events of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. It starts immediately after the events of Resident Evil 1's mansion explosion and follows the perspective of the bad guys at Umbrella. Alright? It says for default weapons, you can advance them with experience points. We just talked about this not too long ago, didn't we, guys? About adding, upgrading weapons. I said, like, the Army of 2 feature. We just talked about this last week. But it says Vector holds a handgun and a knife. Bertha has a mini submachine gun and a machete. Beltway has a shotgun and mines. He can place 3 down and detonate them manually. And Spectre only has a machine gun, but has many doohickeys to play with. You know, he sounds like the David of Outbreak, all right? Oh, speaking of it, Outbreak, there's some Outbreak personnel, the guys who worked on Outbreak, some of them will be working on this game. Link will be in the info bar. It says Vector can mimic other people and take their shape and form to disguise himself as another person. Bertha can inject things into her teammates and herself with limited boosts and abilities or functions, including running faster or enhanced aiming and reloading performance. The screen brightens up during these effects. It says Spectre can use different types of vision modes and using his special goggles, including night and thermal vision, and can access a more detailed map. It says, let me keep moving. It says, special attention has been made to the cutting off limbs, cut off an arm or a leg and it will wobble a bit on the ground before it ceases to move and twitch. It says the loading screen is a twitching zombie, arm in a pool of blood. Who gives a shit? All right. It says melee combat. It says used by a single button, but more combos are created if you press it rhythmically. So understand that your only melee is one button. You're just doing like this. All right. Now, there are finishing moves you can use like found in Resident Evil 4 and 5. This will be the first time you'll see a bioorganic weapon doing what they were designed to do. Warfare and brutal killing. Understand that these bioorganic weapons, these BOWs, they're on nobody's side. All right. They take no prisoners. They don't give a shit. Alright, now, with that being said, this is one of the multiplayer modes is known as Team Attack, which sets a co-op team of 4 Umbrella agents from the main game against another 4-player team of U.S. military, though with the same abilities as Umbrella agents. Players don't fight each other. Instead, they compete to kill for most monsters. Headshots are worth more points, and the bigger the tougher the baddie, like hunters, are more worth it. However, other players can shoot you and make you bleed out. Now look, guys, that right there tells me that a lot of gamers are not going to follow the structure of the game. They're just going to be too busy worried about making people bleed out. Alright? They're not going to be worried about killing the monsters. It just sounds like it's going to be a clusterfuck to me. That really bothers me. That really bothers me. It says, which in turn will attract monsters to come and swarm to you at the same. I'm just saying, I just see a lot of people getting online and shooting at each other and not doing the objectives. Like Mag. Just saying. Anyways, it says, after a death in team attack, you will respawn and you can choose to come back as any character. Multiple of the same character can be on the playing field at once. It says, there were 4 maps in team attack, but only 1 was available at the show. When you respawn, you will first select your character and then your weapon. Apparently, there are dozens of weapons split into 4 classes. It goes on and on. In Team Attack map, you could blow up the gas station. In the map shows special monsters like hunters appeared, and even the tyrant showed up once to wreak havoc. Look, there's a lot to be. There's also brutal quick time event zombie kills, including slicing off a zombie's head with a knife as vector, and kicking his body down, and sticking a gun in the zombie's mouth and blowing its brains out. Look, there's a lot of information here. The show is running, pretty long, so link is in the info bar. You can read it, guys. I'm telling you, there's a lot of information for you. So, like I said, it should help decide whether you're still on the fence or not, if you want to get this or not. All right, now, let's move on. Guys, a lot of you guys have been asking me about rival schools as of late, and you want to know if it's ever going to come to PSN. Well, I have some bad news for you guys. Yeah, that's my mouse. It doesn't matter. Look, it says that it's not going to re-release. Apparently, and this is an article from 2009. I have not found anything else since then. Okay, so I'm just letting you know. Apparently there's some IP clearances and rights to characters that they don't have anymore. So Capcom especially says particularly pertaining to voice work, soundtrack, and their IP management. There's a lot of red tape holding them up, and they can't do anything about it. Okay, guys, so we may not see a re-release of Rival Schools. Now, if you guys can find some information on it, like I said, all I can find, this article, like I said, was from 2009. So it's a little dated. Okay, guys? Maybe you guys can find something on that. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty much dead in the water unless you go and buy the PS1 version, which we know is a lot of money. Now, with that being said, Capcom, again, is re-releasing Dead Rising 2. But this time, you know what? We should do it like this from now on. Instead of getting Street Fighter or Marvel's Capcom, whatever, you say, oh, I'll just wait for the super version, the turbo version, or whatever, tournament version, whatever version. Now we should say, well, when Dead Rising comes out, we should just wait for the Frank West version, as far as I'm concerned, because, look, Dead Rising 2 re-releases, reveals Revisionist Zombie Racket. Apparently, this time around, same game, but now you will be able to play as Frank West. Just saying, the original character from fucking Dead Rising 1. It makes no sense. Capcom, stop milking it. Stop re-releasing your games. You have to understand, you didn't do well in the first one. It had nothing to do with Frank being. It's just, I showed you the glitches before a couple weeks ago, guys. The game has problems. And I really doubt that they fixed those either. I'm sure they just repackaged it with a character skin and said, here, take it. I'm sure that's what they did. Seriously, I'm sure there's some DLC or whatever added on to this, but come on, guys. They didn't fix shit. Stop. They didn't fix shit. Anyways, guys, that's the show for today, yeah. Time is running pretty low. And as usual, I have a nice little, let me put this down. I have a nice little trailer for you. But before I get started, I want to say one more thing, one more note of advice to Anonymous. Guys, you guys have some type of taking it to the streets type of protest to Sony. Was it on April 16th? Personally, I don't think it's going to work. I wish you luck. I really don't, because, you can barely get people to agree. I can barely get guys to agree on the show. You know what I mean? And you want a bunch of people to get out there in masks, to cover their face, like this is V for Vendetta. I don't know. Look, guys, good luck in what you're going to do. But personally, now that you're in the rules of engagement, what I would do if I were you is, now that you put the statement out there that people are going to be waiting for you on April 16th at stores and carrying on, while they're sitting and waiting, I'd go around the back door. All right? Hit them with another cyber attack. I'm just saying, that's what I would do if I was in your shoes. You got the world, I wouldn't say the world, but you have a good amount of gamers, the community, watching you. People are looking for you to fail, and people are looking for you to succeed. You know how it goes, all right? Anyways, guys, trailer. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this already. If not, check this out. It should be very fun. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe, and have a good weekend. I got to get ready. It's been a long day. I got to get ready to go to the Phillies game. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.
The dragon is ever born in you into the world, and with it too, the Arisen.
The choice falls not to me. It is yours alone. Arisen.